Peace family, back again with a new video in which we're going to explore the demonization of poor people and people that cannot afford rent, people that end up in the streets, people that is being deceived and and discharged by the system basically, because now they don't need these people no more, and they passing new laws to institutionalize them, to have them in prisons, to have them in concentration camps. You know what I'm saying? That's what Trump is doing, and this is important because you're going to see how this system works, and that you are not in control of anything. The minute they don't give you a job, or they create an agenda that you're going to lose your job, or they become corrupt and you cannot have a job or an economy, yeah, they're going to be banned in the streets, and they're going to use you and abuse you. But I think they're doing this because Trump is preparing for a lot of wars, and they need people to go and die for him. So one way to find warriors is to keep them unemployed, keep them in the streets, keep them broke. So when he says, look, y'all can go to war, they all going to jump because they need money. And you won't hear about them again because it's all a reset agenda. Let's go.
I'm Vivek Sam Cedar on the Majority Report. Like I say, I want to welcome Jesse Rabinowitz, Communications Director for the National Homeless Law Center, to the show. And Jesse, you were just telling us, but I don't think people heard it. They're in Utah is planning as some type of camp for unhoused people. Tell us what you know about this.
We know that this camp and this idea should send chills up everyone's spine. We should not have to be saying out loud that forcing people into a camp is a bad idea, but that is where we are yet again in this country. Utah's governor, inspired by the Trump administration's attacks on homeless people, is proposing to create what will be the largest government-run detention camp for homeless people, with upwards of 1,300 beds, including 800 beds where people will be forcibly held against their will. This diverts funding from proven solutions to homelessness like housing and support to instead build a literal detention facility for people who just can't pay the rent. It's shameful.
So the system, people, treats them like chicken, like animals. People. They're not even treating them like humans no more. It's treating them like animals. They haven't got a job. They haven't got prospects. We're going to pack them all in the concentration camps. That's where they're going to sleep. They're going to do what we tell them, and that's that. These are just animals. These are not human beings no more. And all of these people coming from these billionaires. That's what's going on. Let's go.
Not happen.
What is the authority to? Is this a jail? Like, what is the authority that Utah has to put people in a concentration camp?
I love that question. So there is a growth of anti-homeless laws springing up around the country that largely stem from a billionaire-backed right-wing think tank called the Cicero Institute, which was founded by Palantir CEO Joe Lonsdale. And the Cicero Institute has been moderately effective in passing anti-homeless laws at the state level, including in Utah. So Utah has a law on the books, thanks to these billionaires, that says it is illegal to sleep outside. So now what Utah is going to do is say your choice is either to go to jail or your choice is to go to a detention camp in the middle of nowhere. Those aren't real choices, and they don't solve homelessness. They make homelessness worse.
I remember that name because it's so, egregiously libertarian sounding, the Cicero.
They trying to finish homelessness by packing the homeless people in one place, in some camp, and it's not going to end good, people. They're not coming back to society. You know what I'm saying? There's a dark plan behind all of that. That's a way to get rid of poor people, because they made people so rich, and then the other side of society is so poor, and they don't want to see this in the streets, so they got to get rid of them. But every day there's more and more poor people, because the economy is about to, it's always crashing. It's about to smash. That's what wars do. The wars are coming to smash, to destroy your entire economy, and to kill millions, and to pillage their wealth. That's how these people actually work. Yeah, they gave you all the stuff is fake, including the money. They can't print it no more. They print so much that there's no more point printing now. So they got to come, and they got to take whatever you have. People have gold. People have lands. People have things that they want. You know what I'm saying? Not so many people left that have things. But also they need to get rid of all the people that, they deceived and are never going to be successful, because they weak, they don't know what to do, they don't have nowhere to go, and they can fight no more. They weak, and they have no jobs, and they have poor health. So they got to get rid of them, because it's a shame in their society to have these people hanging around cities, when there are people talking about billionaires, 3 times billionaires, 9 times billionaires, 100 times billionaires out there, and you got people dying in the streets with no food, nowhere to sleep. Yeah, and these people that have everything and have all the money, instead of they coming up with a solution to to alleviate this, to stop the poverty, to stop these people sleeping in the streets, instead of they buying land, telling people to build their house, to live there and stuff. These motherfuckers ain't gonna do that. You see what they're doing? They're spending money building a concentration camp. This is the system that these humans have, and they think they have a country, they think they have laws, they think they have rights. It's all an illusion that works as long as they've been deceived for a while, and then they just disappear overnight. Because these people that rule them, play with them, they know how they think, they know they can play games on them, change the rules overnight, and fuck them over. And that's what they do over and over again. You know what I'm saying? But they don't wake up that, they don't really have a country, they don't really have nothing, because nothing came from them. It was all in place when they were born. And they just learned to go with the flow and clap, and think that, I told you, they've been indoctrinated, man, with all types of stuff, all types of that lead them to this end. Racism, division, and all types of stuff that leads them, millions of them, to this end now. There's no jobs. The president is a crook, and he wants to put them all in the concentration camps. I don't know what's the point, but I think he wants them to really be poor and really send them to war and finish them off over there, where nobody can see. You know what I'm saying? That's the plan I see coming. Let's go.
Dude, because last year I remember there was a story about this guy in Texas and how effective he had been. I believe it was in Austin, right? This the tech billionaire Joe Lonsdale, who's his data stuff has been used by ICE, the CIA. He did a documentary with PragerU. So this is like deeply right-wing stuff.
Okay, but back to the point of this, like, how long will people, like, okay, you get a jail term and someone says you have broken the law
Mm-hmm.
because you have no home.
Mm-hmm.
How long are people like forced to stay in this concentration camp?
We don't know.
Forever.
So there's just no structure to this whatsoever? Like,
If this is not slavery, man, what this is, people? They're gonna arrest you. They're gonna keep you in the concentration camps because you have no money, no food, nowhere to sleep, indefinitely, people, or until they think what they're gonna do with you, which could be exterminate you. You know that? Let's go.
but the law is on the books that you can go to jail. So are they putting people in jail?
Fuck
right
the laws.
now
The laws.
in
The
Utah?
laws.
Well, what they're doing right now.
If the laws allow all of this, man, why do you need that for? There is no law. It's the land of lawlessness. Let's go.
Released his budget, I believe, last week and included $45 million to fund this detention camp. And right now it's our understanding that there is still a significant chunk of cash that they need, and we expect them to be asking HUD to fund the rest. I want to remind folks that HUD Secretary Scott Turner was asked during his confirmation hearing if he supported forcing homeless people in detention camps, and he failed to answer. We believe that anyone who cannot unequivocally say forcing people into detention camps is not only not fit to run HUD, they're just not fit to run the federal government. But it's
Just think about that, man. Yeah, you're gonna have a fuck society that put you in detention camps when you can't afford to leave. And they cause the economy to fall. They cause, because there are more taxes, they take more taxes than your wages. You know what I'm saying? And, there ain't no jobs, there is just conflict, insecurity. It's all being done by design. And now this is the end of people that don't have the self and don't know the truth. Yeah, you see a lot of them on YouTube screaming around, but they don't know what their government is like. Let's go.
And that we remember, Trump has talked about this for a long time. This is something he has campaigned on, and now these billionaires at the Cicero Institute are really shaping homelessness policy. It should scare all of us, and honestly, everyone who cares about justice needs to be mobilizing against these attacks on people who can't afford rent.
And so they have tens of billions of dollars. They're looking for federal grants to build this. I assume this is all going to some type of private prison company that will build this facility. Have they started to build it?
They haven't started to build it yet. They're still waiting on the rest of the funding. So the governor's budget came out a few weeks ago, and that was the first.
So the government is giving funding to build a prison to put the poor. Ain't that something? Let's go. Beautiful.
This was a top priority for Governor Cox. So now we are looking to see where they plan to get the rest of the funding.
Yeah, I'm just wanting to know
Ain't
a
that
little bit more
something?
about that connection then with the Trump administration. Like, how intimate is that connection? Because it appears like, based on what we've been speaking about, that this is pretty directly linked to some of Trump's top donors.
Well, I want to say two things about that. One is that Donald Trump is using homelessness as a wedge issue to enact his authoritarian takeover of the country. Where I am in D.C., it is no secret that his federal occupation of D.C. began with attacks on homeless people, and I was there when federal agents harassed homeless people and when the government threw away people's
Homeless people. Many of these people are these same people that been voting for these fuck governments. That's what they end up now. You see that? Some of them deserve it because they been voting, they been fighting, they been supporting this fuck government. Hold on, guys.
If you think about Trump's attacks, we often think about his attacks on immigrants, his attacks on trans folks, which are urgent and demand focus, but we also need to focus his attacks on homeless people. And then Joe Lonsdale, the former Palantir CEO of Billionaire, is good friends with folks like J.D. Vance, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, And when we see the homelessness policy coming out of the White House, it has the Cicero Institute's fingerprints all over it. Billionaires are the last people in this country who should be shaping homelessness policy.
But they are the first people writing policies in the whole damn country, in the whole damn world, people. This is what they do. This is the nations that they built, people. He ain't ruled by no people. He is ruled by a few with all the money, and they pass all the rules and then sell the bullshit that they live in a nation that, you know, by the people and all that bullshit. That is never been the case. Yeah, these people, I have always been steered up, whatever they do, by their elite. It ain't about no, I don't know, no, you know, don't tell me I'm an American and this is America, we do the way of Americans. Yeah, that bullshit only feeds, man, people that have no knowledge, people that being, you know, indoctrinated with their history, with their math, with their science. Yeah, this is the dummies that gonna believe all of that bullshit. Not us, because we can see everything so clear. Yeah, that it's all about the rich running all these big corporations behind them. They themselves have no rights. Yeah, who gave them the right to get to arrest poor people and force them to stay somewhere and charge them and do all that shit? I mean, made them your slave because you have money? Yeah, and that's what I told you guys. Yes, because you gave them all the power and all the money, yeah, over the land, and they took all your rights. You can't even go and build your own house. You have to be a bum, sleeping in the streets. You don't have to do that. You could went, and even if you had to build a fucking cardboard house, until you can build a solid house, you should be able to, but you're not. Yeah, once you don't have these motherfucking jobs that they give you in these corporations, you are at their hands, and they can do whatever the fuck they want with you. They call you a criminal. The minute you lose a job, you are a criminal, and they arrest you and keep you in some jail, concentration camps. Yeah, run tests on you, run lab tests on you and everything. That's what they're gonna do. You know these people. Yeah, when they put in concentration camps, you ain't gonna drink clean water or clean food. It ain't gonna happen. Yeah, it's a one-way road, dude. It's a one-way road, and it's going on today in America, people, which is supposed to be the most advanced country in the world, is the most recessive, backwards, and pathetic country in the world. Let's go.
They don't care and they don't know what it's like to do the work or to experience homelessness. We know that despite what these billionaires say, the solution to homelessness is housing and supports, not handcuffs or detention camps.
Is there any attempt by, in Utah, and I imagine this is like, you know, what we're seeing is a proof of concept type of program, right? Like a pilot program for the rest of, I would imagine, mostly red states for the most part. But are they expending any money to build housing, to provide housing, to
Hell no.
other programs for unhoused people in Utah?
Are they?
Utah has a definite lack of shelter capacity and a lack of housing that people can afford. One of the things that's so insidious about this detention camp is that it actually will take the money that should be funding housing and supports and also mental health care, and instead redirect that funding to the creation.
You see that? They're going to get the money that was supposed to be given to you to build your own house and build instead a prison. Let's go. Religio. That's what happened.
Actively taking money away from the solutions to fund this cruel, inhumane, and project.
It's almost like a blend.
Now, this just shows that they live in a society that they have no say and they have no leverage to change anything, to make the world better for themselves or anybody. Yeah, these are all slaves of the rich and the powerful. That's all this is all about. There is no countries, there is no people or nothing. Yeah, it's all an illusion, a simulation they created from their religion. That's all that come out of that. Yeah, that's the truth. That's the clarity that you need to see. Yeah, there is no country that protects you or your rights. There is no country that cares about you or your life. Yeah, if you lose the jobs they give you, you're going to be a bum. And they even have the right, some men have the right to arrest you and put in jail, put in some concentration camps because they deem you a bum and you in their streets, and they don't want you in their streets because you have no rights to be in their streets. Yeah, you have no rights, and you're just an animal that they can do as they please. It's the law of the jungle. Let's go.
Prisons, which are supposed to be illegal in this country, and involuntary commitment to mental institutions from the 20th century. That's what it feels like a combination of, and it's federalized, or at least it has federal backing.
I think that's absolutely right. We know that in no time in this country or in history has rounding people up and forcing them into camps been a good thing. But that is exactly what Utah, with the backing of the Trump administration, is working towards. It's shameful, and we have to stop it. Thankfully, there are amazing advocates in Utah working at the city and state level to stop this, and we're honored to support them in their advocacy and working to make sure that this deranged plan in Utah doesn't go anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. We've got Utah, I guess, on the IM saying that there's at the package stores, the liquor stores, the government, the state-owned ones, there's an option to round up purchases to help with homelessness services. Is that where this money is going towards? Are they building a fund right now to build this camp, or do you not know?
I don't know, I'm not certain, but I know that small little changes like that are not actually going to fund those solutions to homelessness. In order to solve homelessness, we have to fix our housing system, which right now only works for people like Joe Lonsdale, Elon Musk, and Donald Trump. And we have to build a housing system where everyone, regardless of what they do, what they look like, or where they're from, has a safe place to live. That is not what Utah is doing. Utah is showing us the exact wrong thing to do. But I know that in cities and states across the country, more and more people are recognizing that the rent is too damn high, and that when the rent goes up, so does homelessness. And we are going to force our elected officials to focus on real proven solutions to homelessness.
Okay. I had enough, guys. Listening to these guys for 10 minutes, I mean, almost, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to close this, man. Yeah, we're going to break this down. We're going to close this because I want you to see that nothing here is given to you for free. And that these dudes own the earth since you were born, okay? And they play these games with you. Games of finding work, games of making money, games of being able to afford a living, afford a house, afford something that should be in your damn birthright. You know what I'm saying? But people being indoctrinated, being made dumb and stupid to think that they have to not only for a season, people, all their lives, they have to be chasing the money to buy their house, to be able to live. That's the place they were born on. They don't own anything there. They can build their own house without a motherfucker coming and preventing them, because he will claim you have no rights in the land. Therefore, you need permission. Therefore, you need a loan. Therefore, you need money to buy a house. You cannot just go and build a house. You got to be a bum instead of that. You got to be a bum. Even that the lands are over there. Nobody living there. They're rotting. But you got to be a bum because government said so. And government said so that that's how you do things. Yeah, you got to make money. And if you can't make money and can't find a job and cannot earn a house, they're going to put you in a concentration camp And you know what they're gonna do. There's no coming out of that. They're gonna do away with you. That's what's gonna happen. Because we saw in Second World War when Hitler do this type of shit, what happens? People disappear, people get hurt, people get sick, people die. That's what happened in these kind of setups. Yeah, in 2025, they made sure they rip the economy down, they destroy the whole economy, they're bringing you to the mud. So when you're very poor, they can send you to war and die with no dignity, poor at war, okay? Maybe they give you a star of honor, and that's that. After you die in that stupid wars that only benefit these same dudes that they call billionaires, and they control the whole system, pass laws and everything, and keep them all in a jail and in misery and suffering. That's sad, man. I had enough. I'm not even gonna finish this video, man. It's too much. You know what I'm saying? And if people are that dumb to be listening to these dudes, man, they don't want no revolution. They don't want to buy a fire back. They got what they deserve. That's all, man. You don't talk, you don't rebel, you're gonna end up in a concentration camp. That's what's going on. That's sad, man. Love you all. Keep the instructions. Peace.